Greetings, Planeswalkers, and welcome to the arena. I am your host, Mint Alpha Lotus, here with you for yet another premier draft of Edge of Eternities on the ever-present Magic: The Gathering arena. It's been a very interesting set. I absolutely love the artwork, the storyline, all the characters, the setting of Edge of Eternities. But drafts have definitely been a little bit all over the place, I will say. I've had, a lot of decks that I've put together that I thought were going to be fantastic that haven't really gone the distance, and maybe even a little bit of vice versa. But yeah, we're in the last couple of weeks, and then the next set up is Through the Omen Paths on Arena, or if you play in paper, it's Spider-Man. So that's going to be really confusing because the cards are pretty much identical. Just, I think, from what I understand, Sony owns the rights, like the digital rights to Spider-Man, so Arena can't use any of those properties. So we're going to get the same cards, the same effects, but not Spider-Man. There's going to be a lot of spiders in Through the Omen Paths, but no Spider-Men. Maybe some men who are spider-like. We'll see how it all pans out. It's definitely going to be... Yeah, it's going to be interesting. A lot of confusion for sure, and whenever I cover any sort of draft videos or anything like that, like little draft primers and shorts and stuff, probably going to have the comparison of both different cards, both the paper and the digital versions. But that's still a few weeks off, and we have time to figure that out. Today, it's time for draft, so let's get this one started. All right, hopefully we can draft into something good. Our last draft, we drafted what I thought was a really good deck, and it got 4 wins. We lost one game to a Roboroid, which was inevitable. We lost a couple of games to, well, one of them we didn't, we probably kept a hand that maybe in something like Dragonstorm would have been okay, but it was not okay in this, and we got rolled over. And the other one, just mana problems. So, that happens too. To have one game out of 7 where you have mana problems, that's pretty okay. Okay, what happened here? Okay, I guess we almost had a draft table and then we didn't. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on Arena right now. All the Yargle stuff. I was thinking about potentially doing that today, but I decided, nah. Let's do a draft. There's like a special limited time event today, and then there's also the special limited achievements. So if you haven't seen all the Yargle achievements, go check that out in your achievements tab on Arena. They're only around for like another week, I think it is, so you might want to get those. There's like a title and an emote, which, not probably the most interesting stuff in the world, but if you're doing it anyway, maybe worth it. And I think with today's very limited event, it will provide quite a bit of the achievement stuff, because I think it provides you with a deck for free, so you can I probably just hopefully get at least a little bit of that achievement without having to spend like 20 rare cards. Okay, so we've opened a Sunstar Chaplain, which is a great card. There's also Grab Kill here, a Starfield Vocalist. Man, this pack is so crazy for white, though. Everything white in it is amazing. I've wanted to play with a Starfield Vocalist, so I'm going to grab that. I've played with Sunstar Chaplain a couple of times now, and it is an incredible card. But Starfield Vocalist is bonkers. And, what I do in draft, it's not necessarily about, like, ranking up the most hardcore. It's about having the most fun. And I think, this is, like, we want a lot of ETB effects here. So let's try to draft, like, into blue. We'll see how open it is. But good lord, like, I think white is going to get snapped up anyway. Because, I mean, there's so much white here that competing for white, I think, is going to be tough. Somebody's going to grab that grab kill as well. Mouth of the Storm is fantastic. But yeah, every white card there is mental. Wow. Okay, so there's another Mouth of the Storm. Servandum? Jeez. That's nuts. I mean, Mouth of the Storm is probably what I want to try to grab here. Maybe the Wayfarer, actually. The Wayfarer is a fantastic card as well. And Mouth of the Storm does kind of come around. I mean, we've seen 2 of them now. This land is also quite decent. You know, not the best land in the set, but like a Galactic Wayfarer is just, it's too good to pass. If I pass that, somebody's definitely going to grab up green. Close Encounter would also be nice. Servandum's crazy. Weftblade Enhancer's okay. Yeah, for blue, it's not the best pack for blue. But, you know, the Mouth of the Storm is what I would... Oop. The Mouth of the Storm is what I would pick. Now, the Dominion Blade... Wow, a Sunstar Expansionist. And another Night Luminary. Okay, these packs are great for white. Sky Stinger in green. The Nanoform Sentinel, maybe, for blue? I don't know. That's probably the best thing we can get for blue, but I'm not seeing a lot of blue here, which is a little worrisome since we took that Vocalist, and the Sky Stinger is only about equivalent. I mean, there is some really good black here. There's amazing white. The Dominion Bracelet is not really something I want to grab. I don't know. Maybe for fun. Maybe for fun since we're in Simic. I mean, that's probably the place for the Dominion Bracelet. A High Market is okay. A Mecha Navigator is fantastic. Mechanozoa is good. And a Germinating Worm. But yeah, I think here, probably the Navigator. Like, Mechanozoa is going to be amazing, but, like, we want to do some card draw stuff here, I feel like. Man, I can't help but feel like white and black was probably the place to be here. Here, Lightsmith. Lost in Space can be okay. Nanoform Sentinel can be okay. The Drix Fate Maker can be all right. I mean, that's got like a decent enter the battlefield ability, so maybe we'll grab that up. But again, like, white just seems really open here. Just don't know that I necessarily want to pivot into white. I mean, there's some decent blue, so yeah, and nothing really in black here. I'll take the Fate Maker. Oh my lord. And an Embrace of Oblivion. Okay, I've got to start taking some white. I feel like the Drix Fate Maker may have been a bad choice. There's also Self-Craft Mechan, though, which is really good. Maybe we grab that, because that's still in our blue, and our blue has been pretty strong. Let's grab that. Bioengineered Future is not a good card. However, white still seems to be open, so I am going to start moving into that. Seam Rip is not too bad. The Tenderfoot can be okay as well. I just like all of this white. Pick 7. White and an Honor here. Cloud Sculpt Technician's not good, but an Honor on 8th pick. That's just crazy. What do we wheel? Banishing Light. So, I mean, there's 2 white cards gone out of here, but that's okay. I feel like white is probably going to serve us a little bit better than green. Because, I mean, we're already at the point where, like, there's just nothing in green. I guess we'll take the Nanoform Sentinel. Oh, yeah, sometimes it's really hard to know. You know, because, like, that first pack had 4 white cards, and that's not a sign that white is open when you just open a pack. But yeah, by the end, when you're getting like honors and seam rips and stuff like that, by the end, that's at least a little bit of a sign. I can't help but feel like there's 2 other people in white here, maybe, but like green has completely dried up. We might see something the other way, like in the other direction. Yeah, like there's been plenty of white here. Dual Sun Adepts can be okay. The Infiltrator can be okay. Here, I mean, I think like maybe a Cryo Shatter is probably best. Terra Symbiosis is a fantastic card, but again, like I really feel like green is just pretty solidly dead here. At least the Cryo Shatter is like a bit of removal. And yeah, I mean, Dual Sun Adepts, as great as it is, it's I definitely need some removal here. Now, it's not very hard removal, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get something better than that. Yeah. Suifit. Okay, so there's a Desculpting Blast here, which is incredible. Yeah, again, we're probably not going to play the green. Starfighter Pilot can be okay. And I definitely want a Mechanozoa at some point, but like let's grab up the Desculpting Blast because that is a wonderful little trick. And probably the strongest card in this pack, especially in blue-white. A lot of great black here. I felt like I should have gone Orzhov, and I think I missed out. Hellkite. What is this? Third pick? A Hellkite third pick. Fantastic. There's a Dockworker Drone. There's a Lightsmith. There is... The Auxiliary Boosters can be okay. I mean, I think the Dockworker Drone plays best with the Starfield Vocalist. And finding good 2-drops is pretty tough. I feel like, my God, there's a mech in here. Yeah, we picked the wrong colors from the beginning, that's for sure. Like right from the beginning. If we had gone with the Chaplain from the start, we would be in a really solid Orzhov deck right now, I feel like. Biotech Specialist? What is going on with these cards today? This is crazy. The Selfcraft mech in here, I think, is probably the best card. Even though we have one already. Not a fan of the Dawnstrike Vanguard, to be honest. Some crazy red going around in this direction as well. The All Fate Scroll can be good, but I don't think for this deck, really. Not really feeling that. We'll take the Selfcraft Mechan. An Unravel? Okay. I mean, that's not too bad. Divert Disaster. I think actually the Exosuit Savior probably. I'm a little bit more feeling that because we need some more good 3-drops, and that's a nice evasive creature. Is that a second? That's a second Hellkite. 6th pick. That is one of the highest win rate cards in the format. That is insane. Oh, man. Yeah, we are in the wrong lane for sure, but I can't pivot into red at this point. I guess another Nanoform Sentinel. Probably. I mean, especially not a double red. Like, there's no way. Eternity Elevator is junk. There is nothing else really great in here. Annul is not what I would call a good card. So I'm just going to draft this, I think. Cloud Sculpt Technician, also not good. I don't know. Probably the Lost in Space. It's not a card that I'm a fan of. Maybe we pick the Breacher here. It's not something that I like, but I could see playing it. Once again, nothing-ish. So let's just grab something that we might play. The Cryologist is not good. However, the Nutrient Block is, so we'll grab that. Yeah. Yeah, red just seems solidly open here. Torpedo, Colossus, Swarm Color. I mean, this is probably the most likely thing we're going to play. Good lord. Yeah, let's just throw that in the sideboard. Yeah, red is so open, it's ridiculous. Okay, I mean, space-time anomaly, which is not something I'm a fan of, but we will take a Chaplain. I wish I had taken the first one. This deck would have been looking a lot better. We don't have any spacecraft. This deck has really got to come together in this pack, and it's not there yet. The Banishing Light would be really nice to have, but I feel like probably need some higher quality creatures. I mean, the Banishing Light is crazy with the Starfield Vocalist. Yeah, okay, so we're going to take that as a bailout condition. I don't really think this is a Beyond the Quiet deck, but I have this horrible feeling we're going to get into situations where that becomes quite necessary. And, I mean, it's only really the boosters that I would play here otherwise, I feel like. So let's grab that. Plus it gives us a 5-drop. Pinnacle Starcage, Expansionist. Wow, there's a Might here. I'm in a really weird pot. I feel like a bunch of people here aren't quite sure what they're doing. Maybe that's the feeling I'm getting. Pollinator, Might. I mean, it is only pick 3, but oh man, a Focus Fire too. I am really short on removal, but what are we at? 22 cards. I think I actually need that. I think I need the Focus Fire. Pinnacle Starcage is not for this deck, unfortunately. The Captain is good. That's a great card. There's also that. Hardlight Containment. How many artifacts do I have? I mean, I've got 11 artifacts, and again, this works crazy well with the Starfield Vocalist. I could see playing it. I mean, I do have a lot of creatures to the point where I might have to start cutting some. Okay, so I mean, now a Station Monitor is amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a Signpost Uncommon, especially one that's almost rare level quality. That's fantastic. Loading Zone. Yeah, all right, let's take the Station Monitor. That's an incredible card. Wow, okay. This pack is pretty stacked. Rayblade Trooper and Banishing Light, both really solid, but I'm going to take the removal. And again, one that works. A permanent entering the battlefield. So this triggers twice with the Starfield Vocalist. That can't be bad. Memnon. I mean, it's like Urza, kind of. I don't think it's a good card, but I think it's probably better than some of the things that I have. Yeah, he's a bit like Urza High Artificer. He's more expensive. There's a Mechanozoa. Yep, so now we're going to get rid of that for sure. And I'll probably actually get rid of the Enhancer as well. But yeah, I do love having a Mechanozoa in the deck just to tap stuff down. Space-Time Anomaly. Are you the best card that we have an option to play? I think so. And I'm probably not going to play you. The boosters here, I guess. I mean, what do we have? 2 Nanoform Sentinels. I'm not going to play another one. Really don't foresee playing the boosters either, especially since I have to make like 5 cuts here. And I've got a lot of high end. This is all stuff that's not playable, so grab that. Breacher. probably not going to play that. Okay, so here's where the real challenge is, to try to figure out what we cut here. All right, chat. What do you think? What are we going to have to cut? We've got a lot of top end. We want to have something good for the start, like as much good stuff for the Starfield Vocalist as we can. We've got 15 creatures, 12 non-creatures, 12 artifacts total. So Memnon is probably actually pretty useful, since we can cast artifact spells from the top of the library, and we do have access to a bit of mana. So the mana that he generates off of artifacts, you can only cast the stuff from the top of your library or whatever. The Dominion Bracelet, I don't think that's going to be useful, unfortunately, because we didn't really pick up a whole lot of big cards. And yeah, 15. I mean, yeah, we're never going to be able to play that, as fun as that might have been. I mean, we knew when we picked it that it was not a good card. It's for sure. I'm not sure that Squire's Lightblade is particularly useful in this deck. I don't see it as being like a majorly aggressive deck, and we did pick up like some actual good removal stuff, which is all right. The Nutrient Block... probably not going to play that either. It's just not solid enough. We do need to cut some creatures. The Shield Mate can go, I think. Station Monitor works with Memnon in terms of like trying to get out more stuff. I'm going to cut the Weft Blade Enhancer because it's too high end. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have too few cards now. So we need to add some stuff. For artifacts, 8. Okay, then we'll re-add some lower end things, I think. 2.7. Wow, okay. So I guess we're not in as bad a situation as I thought. Yeah, we only have 3 4-drops, so maybe, the Weft Blade Enhancer probably good. And it does work really well with the Vocalist if you can double up and warp it in to get like 4 triggers off it. Not that I think that's going to happen, but, I've been surprised in the past. All right, chat, what do you think about this deck? Is this the way to go? I mean, the booster is also quite nice. Again, like, I don't think this is really a Beyond the Quiet deck, but by the same token, I feel like I always like to have that emergency bailout thing going. That just allows me to kind of, reset everything. Let's try this. I think it's going to be a fun deck. So we got a bit more white than blue, which makes sense. We do have quite a few blue double pips in comparison, but I think this is probably this seems like the right mana. Space-Time Anomaly could be fun, but I really just don't like that card. I've almost lost to it. I have no cards left in my library. I actually got that achievement when somebody played that against me when they had 20 life. So that was fun. So Focus Fire. Yeah, I mean, in our 1-drops, it's mostly tricks and stuff. 2-drops. 2-drops are okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a great deck. I think we would have been much better off as an Orzhov deck. I mean, especially with that, the uncommon Servandum that came around. There were a lot of, like, really incredible white and black cards. And that was probably the way to go. Either that or red. Like 2 Hellkites got passed to me. What was one on turn 7 or something like that? That card is so crazy. I can't even. Yeah. Let's try this. Yeah, maybe white red? I don't know. But yeah, 2 Sunstar Chaplains in one draft, 2 Nova Hellkites in one draft. That's just nuts. I mean, there's definitely some really high-end stuff that is getting passed around now. And I feel like earlier on the format, like people were just kind of more rare drafting, and now people are passing stuff that they can't personally use, which is a good sign that, I mean, people aren't so fixated necessarily on just grabbing up rares. Okay, this is a good hand. We're on the draw, so I mean, I think this is okay. We've got a Cryo Shatter we can play first turn if opponent has a play. I mean, that station monitor is not going to live, fortunately. So I almost want to just play him out next turn, maybe? I feel like that would probably be more valuable rather than just getting depressurized here. Let's do that. Let's hold it till next turn. Oh, I can't anyway. Oh, well. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I can. Yeah. Organize my hand. There we go. Skittermaw. Perfect. Okay, so let's get down the monitor. And I am definitely going to Cryo Shatter that. Self-craft Mechan. We can then sacrifice the token, which is fantastic. Okay. Good play on opponent's part. Very good play. Okay, let's attack first. May as well get in for our 1. Who here feels like opponent has a depressurize? I'm pretty sure he does. I don't want to lose that self-craft Mechan to a depressurize, which that's exactly what is being represented here. I mean, this is probably being a little too cautious, but the fact that it's holding priority on 2 mana, I feel like this is probably a better play. I mean, we're looking to try to get that Mechanozoa out anyway. Yeah, like opponent's got to depressurize or something here. It's got to be. Yeah, absolutely he does. Monoist, okay. This is great because now if he tries to depressurize, then we can honor. Here, I'm going to attack and see if he wants to block. Because this guy can't block anyway. And we're about to sacrifice him. Oh, that's a sorcery. Okay, never mind. Here, I think I'm just going to diversify. Just in case he's got a grab kill. I don't want to play into that because there's a good chance he has a grab kill. Monoist. Okay. So here I think we just play out the Mechanozoa, tap down that Grab Pack Monoist. and get in for a lot. That's alright. It probably would have made even more sense to warp it, but opponent's not in that much of a position to block. This turn we can warp out the Weft Blade Enhancer, get some counters on our creatures, potentially tap something down with the Starport Security, and again, like, just get in for a pile. Alrighty, Memnon. Huh. So what do we got? 7 mana. Yeah, here I think I just kind of want to diversify. So I'm going to tap that. I'm sure that opponent has a grab kill here. Like, there's no question in my mind. And I just want to bait that out on the Mechanozoa. Never mind, I guess. Okay, well, it's probably not the best play, but well, at least if he grab kills that, we've got, oh, a depressurize. Wow, okay. Scoops. That was a lot. That was definitely a lot. An opponent had a very slow start there, so it makes sense. That's pretty scoopable. All right, how's everybody in chat doing today? I definitely want to see that Starfield Vocalist in action. I haven't had a chance to play with it at all. During the first paper draft that sealed that I did during the pre-release, one of the guys opened a collector's pack, and he got the Japanese anime art version of the Starfield Vocalist, which is just gorgeous. The English one is worth like quite a fortune, but he got the Japanese one, which is still like, I mean, more than paid for the collector's pack, that's for sure. But yeah, great card. I wanted to try out that Memnon. Depressurize. There is a lot of removal in this format. I don't know. Opponent might have been trapped on land there too. Like, he just had those 4 black land, which definitely did not help him to get stuff out. Skilthiryx. That's a cool name. Opponents first. I don't know. I mean, this is okay, especially if we can draw into a little bit more land. We'll start out, yeah. I mean, we're on the draw, so the odds are good that we're going to draw a 3rd land and hopefully a 4th one. Let's do this. Yep, so there's our 3rd. If opponent plays something here, yeah, I think we just tempo. I'm just going to tempo this. I don't want to deal with a Thawbringer. As much as I would like to get the drone off of that, I just don't want to mess with that. And we're good. We're not returning anything. I'll bring her again. Okay. this is nice. Yeah, so let's do this. And I wish we had another white land, but okay. Get in. Next turn we can self-craft. I feel like the station monitor is probably going to get destroyed here because station monitors are not long for this Earth. Okay, opponent's going to attack in. I'm good to take that, I think. I don't really want to give up my station monitor to block a Thawbringer. So you got a punch effect. Usually when people pause this long, it's because of some sort of removal. Just a Sky Stinger. All right. So this is great. I mean, here we can get rid of both of these things. That's all right. Artificer. So we only have one artifact. So here I think I'm going to banish the Sky Stinger, probably. And then hardlight the Thawbringer. I do feel like he probably has some sort of punch that he's holding up. But if he uses that to punch something, then I think I'm okay with that. Oh, okay. Alright, I mean, this is risky, because I feel like he definitely has some sort of removal. But, I mean, if he's going to remove the drone, like if he's using the removal on the drone, I think we're laughing just to save a Thawbringer. That's a trade I'll take. Yep, he's got something. But again, if he's going to remove the drone, go for it. Yeah, a depressurize on a drone? I will take it. I will 100% take that deal. That's great. We've still got the focus fire too, which is amazing. Yeah, baiting out like premium removal like that is never going to be that upsetting. And I mean, if opponent doesn't do anything at all... Oh yeah, he's got a punch. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, if he doesn't do anything at all, then we're in a decent spot. Here... Well, we don't really have to stress out about the double spelling anymore. So I think we'll just get in, attack, play self-craft Mechan, sacrifice the drone, and hold up the focus fire for if he attacks again. And then we're always laughing with Memnon. You know, that stuff's okay. He's got another punch, eh? Biosynthetic Burst, okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, too bad. Focus fire is not particularly useful, I guess. Not a lot we can do, but oh well. Yeah, that's that. But opponent doesn't have anything left in hand, which is all right. We're going to get rid of that. Cryo Shatter is great. That's fantastic. The question here is, do I just want to... Like, I feel like he's got some sort of trick, so let's block and see what opponent does. I mean, we can potentially outvalue him here anyway. We still do have the focus fire. Yeah. Yeah, I think we just trade. That's fine. It's not what I want to do, but whatever. Okay, Grove Strider. Glad we did something there. Or 2, all right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's okay. It's, again, like I would like to get that Memnon out, but I can't let that Grove Strider sit there forever. Okay. Well, we're going to drop the Focus Fire because it's not particularly useful right now. Okay. I mean, Beyond the Quiet. That is definitely something that, if opponent, you know, starts dropping some creatures, like right now, we're looking in a much better state. He's got a couple of cards in hand. So he's got some, yeah. Bring that back. All right. But, I mean, we will get out... like, we'll get in for an attack before he can do anything. And we might even be able to play some artifacts off the top of our deck. Don't know what we have for artifacts. Starport Security, Dockworker Drone, Mechan Navigator, Nanoform Sentinel, Self-Craft Mechan. Well, I mean, we're looking okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, Beyond the Quiet, definitely nice to hold up. We have 3. We'll be able to get in for another 3 if he plays that Grove Strider out. Probably going to station the Grav Ship with it. That's okay. Yeah. All right. Artificer, unfortunately. Well, that's definitely a handy little Beyond the Quiet. That'll come out as a 4/5. Which matches up with his 4/5. It is unfortunate that you can't put both on the 1. So, I mean, opponent is definitely outpacing us with cards, which is unfortunate. We've drawn a lot of land. I guess similar to his, but... There's not really any point of attacking, I guess. We're in a bit of a kludged up board state. It's all top decking here. Evangel, that's, you know, that's okay. Oh, this is nice. Now the real question is, do I just want to warp it in and tap down the Beckoner? I'm thinking, yeah, probably. Cool. That is fantastic. Cool. We'll trade for a bunch. Definitely did not want him to get value off of that Evangel. So we're all right there. Blade. Yep. Oh, man. There goes... That's a perfect card. I can't believe that. That is ridiculous. Wow. Ugh. The Blade of the Storm is... Or Swarm is not even a good card. Opponent's in chump mode. Figure that out. That is so ridiculous. I mean, I guess I should have just played it. It's not something you ever expect, though, is the, you know, this idea that somebody's going to play a Blade of the Storm or Swarm. Drix Fatemaker, good play. He's got a punch effect that he's holding on to. We're just going to get ground out here, potentially. Brutal. I mean, attacking with the Beckoner is the play, for sure. He needs to do that. But it's not always easy to see. Especially if I top deck something to remove his Fatemaker. He's in a pretty precarious position there, I guess. Yeah, I don't really see a way through. Oh well. I mean, I should have just played out the Mechanizoa knowing what I know now, but it seemed like the right play. Blade of the Swarm. I cannot believe that's not a good card. Yeah, I mean, here I guess we just have to double block. He's probably got something to blow us out, but what else do we do? That's, yeah, I mean, he's got something. Oh, okay. That was odd. But he does have a creature, I'm going to assume. Germinating Worm. Wow, okay. And another land. Yeah, so we're pretty dead here. That's unfortunate. That was a very close game. I mean, here do we just attack with a Nanoform Sentinel, see what we get off of our looting. Oh no, that's the untap another target permanent. That's not even useful. So yeah, let's play that. Take 5. Drone is not good. I mean, I don't even think there's anything in the deck that is going to save us. Maybe a Banishing Light or something. If we manage to draw that. Seam Rip. No, that's not going to do it. That would have been useful a little while ago, but now it is game over. All right, so that was really close. That was a good game. And again, I mean, if I had played out the Mechanozoa rather than warped it, but it seemed like the best way to get value to tap down 2 creatures, and the idea that he had the one card in the set that could have nullified our Mechanozoa, that Blade of the Swarm is not a good card. It's not played that much, so I mean, it crushed me here because of the fact it was exactly the right card for this situation. But it is not something I would ever play, I don't think. It's just overcosted, in my opinion. This is all right-ish. I'm not a big fan of this, but since I'm on the play, I can get that Aniform Sentinel out pretty early. Starfield Vocalist, which we can warp in on 2 for no value. I think we're not going to do that. If we draw like a 1-drop that has some sort of ETB, then it's something we could think about, but... Okay, Red Tiger Mechan. I can't kill that, so... there we go. I don't have an artifact, so... Oh no, that's 4. It's the Nanoform Sentinel. Alright. So we're hoping to draw another land. Like, we really need to draw another land here. Sell it. That's alright. Here, I think we just want to draw 2 cards. Let's do that, because we have got to hit our land drop. Oh, it's a creature that didn't even do anything. Well, we had no other plays, really. I think I will actually attack with that, because... Whatever, yeah, sure. Excellent. In for 4. How's everybody doing today in chat? Are you enjoying the stream? It definitely was not like the most optimal draft. We should have been in white a lot earlier. White was like ludicrously open, and there was like a crazy number of systems override. Wow. Amazing. That's a really good systems override, but we are in fact actually just gonna roast that to prevent us from taking 4 damage. Here, I think we're just going to play the Vocalist out, because he will have to waste removal on that, and then we'll get the value of the Self-Craft Mechan. And we just want to hold up to get up to 5 mana. Just going to vote that out. Absolutely. There we go. Wonder how much more removal he has, to be quite honest. That's... I suspect a not insignificant amount in Rakdos. Tanuke, that's alright. Okay, so I mean we can play Cryo Shatter, we can play this Self-Craft Mechan. Like, I want to get this out to get the value off of Memnon, I feel like. So let's do that. Let's get the Cryo Shatter on him. And then we'll attack in for 3. I mean, it's not great because Tanuk still gets his value. But, I mean, we can always use Mechanozoa next turn to tap him, which is awesome. And I feel like we can potentially really pull ahead here in value with Memnon, because, like, next turn we're now going to draw land, which means we hit our land drop. Be up to 6. We might draw into another artifact. Can warp in the Mechanozoa for value to tap Tanuk and make him go away. We'll see what he plays with haste here. But, I mean, we can block with the Dockworker drone, which is nice. We can also cast stuff now with the Dockworker drone. Okay, Interceptor Mechan. Yeah, that's not bad. Really no value to warping the Mechanozoa this time, is there? I mean, I feel like we just need the pressure here. Because, you know, if he has more systems overrides, then that's not going to be great. So let's get rid of that. Attack in for 5. We always have Beyond the Quiet to play as well. Yeah, he's going to take that. But he doesn't have the sacrifice outlet, which is nice. Unless he has land. Yeah, he does not. Okay. Or he does. No. Okay. This is 8 to 8. Yeah, I mean, all I see here is attacking. That's the right play, right? Game. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, opponent missed a land drop there and had some excellent plays, but I feel like getting rid of that Umbral Caller Zealot early on in that Rakdos deck, I just did not want that thing to be around to be able to systems override the heck out of me and get all that value off of it. That was not going to lead to very fun times on my part, I feel like. Anyway, that was great. Yeah, okay, so we're 2-1. For anybody who joined late, I know there's a pile of people in chat. We drafted our first pick. We had an option for first pick to draft a Sunstar Chaplain or a Starfield Vocalist. And we opted for the Starfield Vocalist because I have not had a chance to play the Vocalist yet, and I really wanted to try to fool around with that, and clearly I don't understand it yet. Oh, man. But it looks like a really fun card. Unfortunately, we did not start out in white because Pick 1 Pack 1 had 4 incredible white cards in it. Like really, really solid stuff, and I figured white was just going to get overdrafted. But by the end of Pack 1, we were still seeing so much amazing white that I kind of shifted back into it. And some of these other colors had really dried up. Like we, Pick 2, I think it was, we picked the Galactic Wayfarer, but green dried up so fast. We really weren't seeing a lot of great stuff. And early on, we didn't see a whole lot of great red, but we got past 2 Hellkites. One was, I think one we opened, but then one was like pick 7 or something like that. It was just crazy. So yeah, I don't know. It was not where we should have been. Black was pretty open during the draft, and white was good. There was like an uncommon Servandum, which would have made an incredibly aggressive deck, especially with like, there were like the 2 or 3 of the knights that generate another token. I don't know. Like, we got some decent blue stuff. I wouldn't say Memnon's like a game breaker or Starfield Vocalist is a game breaker by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, it's an okay deck. And I mean, with Edge of Eternities, I don't know, chat, have you been feeling this, that like Edge, I've not been able to figure out how a deck is going to perform. Like I'll draft a deck. I mean, the other day, last week, I drafted a deck that had Monolith, Tezzeret, and Ancient Tomb, and it only went 6 wins, which is good. I mean, 6 wins is good, don't get me wrong, but like that should have gone 7 wins and maybe 1 or 2 losses, certainly not 3. Like that was a little bit frustrating. And 2 of those games I just got like mulched, like absolutely mulched in. And then even Monday's deck there was some really good stuff in Monday's deck. And I went 4 wins with that one, I think. Like I'm finding a lot of decks just go 4 wins. This deck, I mean, it's solid. It's got some okay stuff. It's got some good early plays and things like the Station Monitor. I mean, ironically, like the Station Monitor is probably the best card in this deck. It's I really wouldn't say that Memnon is incredible, especially not in Limited. It's probably a little bit better in Constructed, where you can build around it, much like Urza High Artificer. But like this card is not as good as Urza High Artificer, because for one thing, it's 5 mana instead of 4. It flies, which the evasiveness is nice, but then it doesn't create an additional token like Urza High Artificer does. And the being able to tap your artifacts for mana, it's very limited because you can only spend that mana to cast spells from anywhere other than your hand. It's definitely not as good. I mean, I would rate this a decent card, but, you know, not something I would, well, I don't know. I might first pick it just for fun. And he did come in clutch there, I will say. I mean, that was a great, like, 3/4 flyer. But the fact that it is 3 power means it dies to Depressurize, and, I mean, the same as Starfield Vocalist. A lot of these creatures can be taken out with a Depressurize, which makes them a little less attractive. But, I mean, Station Monitor is just crazy, especially when you have all these, like, 1 and 2 drops. To be able to get out, like, a bunch of drones. Just absolutely incredible. It's a great card. It's like the pinnacle dude that, you know, creates more drones, but I find he's even a little bit more flexible. The is it creature. Okay, let's do another one. Yeah, I really didn't know if opponent actually had like a 1 mana red spell there, but I couldn't think of what it was that he could fire off at it as an instant. So I wasn't sure that we had won that game, but it really seemed like it with that much damage coming in. I mean, we are absolutely lucky we had that focus fire up for when he stole our first creature and we could just like wipe out his Umbral Caller Zealot. Systems Override is definitely a scary card in Rakdos if somebody has the sacrifice outlets for that. You do not want an Umbral Caller Zealot on the board. That is such an amazing Oh, playing somebody in Platinum. The dude. All right, cool. Hey, dude. I'm first with a Chaplain in hand. Nice curve out here. I mean, I don't have an artifact that I can attach the Hardlight Containment to, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I guess the Nanoform Sentinel will do in a pinch. Sentry is all right because that is not a particularly useful card. Get that out. I mean, I wish we could have got some Spacecraft. Would have made the Chaplain like a lot better. Feel like he's looking at it to probably remove it, and if he does, then that's fine with me. Okay, cool. I mean, here, I feel like I just want to Cryo Shatter and get in for 3. It's a little aggressive, but yeah. I mean, opponent is dirtling a little bit, so let's take advantage of that. 3 is a significant amount, and if he wants to use removal, then be my guest. Oh, okay. The Awbringer, that's a great target for Banishing Light. Or do we just want to focus fire it, maybe? Let's, yeah, let's attack in. I'm in a tempo, actually. I think I'm in a tempo because he's, he is, you know, as I said, dirtling a little bit here, so. Okay, if he blocks that, we're good with that. It's not like that sentry's going to be doing much of anything. Cool. I mean, I definitely prefer to use my Sculpting Blasts on defense because you get the token out of it, but whatever. And finally, the Depressurize. So that guy, he definitely served his purpose, let's say. So here we're going to do this. We're going to pick up a white and then yeah, and then play it out again just to be able to hold up the focus fire. Not that it's, you know, that useful, but it's better than doing nothing. Missing land drops stinks, but that's how it goes. Especially when an opponent has a pile of them. Alright, here we go. Ice Cave Crasher definitely getting locked down. Because that is a devastating card. To everybody out there in chat land, thanks for joining us today. We're just in the middle of a draft. We're 2-1 currently. Alright, Shattered Wings. That's fine. Okay, this turn we play out the Sentinel. And that way we can hold up Focus Fire for if he decides to attack. I guess we can also play Hard Light Containment. But I feel like I want to get the Focus Fire out because it's just more likely that he's going to attack. And if he has a punch effect or something like that, then he has a punch effect. But, I mean, we're already kind of losing this game, just being way behind in land. Yeah, so he does have something. He's going to punch the Savior. Oh, Exile. Okay. Sure. Well, I mean, let's do this. I'll trade. Okay, so this is not good, but no. But here we go. I mean, we got out a Grav kill on an Exosuit Savior. I don't really... Okay, he's got to take 2 damage. That's all right. Play the Thawbringer again. Man, I wish we could... I wish we had 2 creatures out for this. That would be kind of nice. I mean, I almost want to just hold up and grab up 2 creatures, essentially. Question is, do we do that? Like, is that sensible? It's not sensible, is it? That's ridiculous. No, I feel like... Oh, man. That is a tough call. That is a really tough call. Because I feel like he's going to have something next turn. And this way, he'll be at 8. Either way, I think we play it. Okay, and that gives him ward. And if he's got some way to deal with my Mechan, then oh my god, he's got blue. Okay. That was not expected. Rupture. Can't beat that. Oh well. Man. Ha. Another mechan. Just need to top deck some good stuff, but... Oh wow, a Beckoner. He's warping that? Okay. That's an interesting choice. I'm not going to block that. We don't have a lot to close this game out with left in the deck, that's for sure. How many cards do we have left? 12 cards? Okay. I mean, that will definitely do it. That will help. I'm going to hold back. He's probably going to play that Beckoner out. We still only have 5 land. Wow. There's only 4 left in the deck. Yep. Plays the Beckoner. It's all right. Come on, play something else out. You know you want to play some more stuff out. I mean, this is bad. We're in a lot of trouble here, even with the Beyond the Quiet. And I mean, we can't do anything after we play it, so this one is, this game is not going to be good. Yeah, okay, so let's exile this stuff. Let's see what opponent plays. 3 lands left in the deck. Okay, Enhancer is good. I say good quite wrongly. It's okay. I mean, at least we had that sweeper that has at least kind of put us back in the game. Not really, but okay, let's attack. Don't know that this is necessarily right to play out. I've got to do it. I have to. I mean, I really doubt he has a sweeper in his hand. And I mean, even if he has the black sweeper, it's not gonna help him. Okay. Well, we won that by the skin of our teeth, and Beyond the Quiet is what won that for us, which puts us up into gold 2. Fantastic. I was kind of hoping to get at least near platinum today, but I mean, the deck we drafted it's all right, but it's not what I would call fantastic. I did think we were going to lose that game. I absolutely did. I guess he had 3 lands in his hand, but I mean, he drew an enormous number of lands. We barely drew any, so. All right, so I mean, there's like a pile of people in chat. I'm gonna take like just a quick like 5-minute break here just to get some water. I am parched. Streaming, playing, talking, all that stuff, quite challenging. But I will be back in just a few minutes, and I mean, we're at 3-1, which is great. I love it. Like when my decks get 4-1, I really enjoy that. Like I'm not, I'm not mythic level drafter by any standard. I'm not mythic level Magic player. I've been in mythic before, I guess, a long time ago. But that's, that was back during Strixhaven. And these days I don't tend to grind out all the way through Diamond and stuff. But I always like to at least get up into Platinum and start making progress towards Diamond. Traditionally, I mean, I've only been streaming for about a month. And the deal was like, I just found when I wasn't streaming, I wasn't playing that much Magic. Like I would, get in my 10 wins a day or whatnot. But in terms of drafting, like I do 1 draft a week. I really like to try to at least do like 2, 3, 4 drafts a week. And so streaming gives me that impetus to get on here and do more streaming. So again, I mean, it's not a fantastic deck. Beyond the Quiet is a ridiculously good card. I think it's the best sweeper in the format, in my opinion. I mean, he played the, what was it, the is it black-green against us, or the Singularity Rupture anyway? Is that blue-green? Blue-black? My brain is scrambled. But I really feel like Beyond the Quiet is the best in the format. It's only 5 mana, which is incredible. It exiles all creatures and spacecraft, which is great. So in a deck like ours, where we have like quite a bit of enchantment stuff, like at least that sticks around, which is good. And the exile thing, even for standard, like, I mean, with VV Cauldron running the show in standard, having exile effects is kind of necessary. You need some sort of graveyard hate stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's like a Wrath of God for, what is it, 1 more mana? Wrath was like 4 mana, right? Wrath of God for 1 more that exiles, you know, all the creatures and spacecraft. And there has definitely been a few times where I've seen an opponent station up, you know, take a whole turn stationing up a spacecraft when I was about to play a Beyond the Quiet anyway, because they were running roughshod over me. But yeah, that, and I mean, the Starfield Vocalist, once again, that would have been great if opponent had 2 creatures on the board there. Like, we drafted this, but I find we didn't really, like, there's not that much enter the battlefield ability stuff in our deck. Maybe, like, there's a Dockworker Drone, Selfcraft Mechan, but how many artifacts are we realistically going to sacrifice? Seam Rip, and, you know, the Banishing Light. It's like Starfield Vocalist and Banishing Light, or even the Seam, or the Hard Light, or I guess Seam Rip, is a ridiculous combo. Like, that is fantastic to be able to just grab up 2 creatures. And the fact that this can be warped in for 2 makes it, like, really valuable, in my opinion. Again, not a bomb by any means. I don't think it's ever going to, like, win a game, but if you can 2-for-1 with this, you're laughing. And even you know, with Weftblade Enhancer or something to get like multiple +1/+1 triggers. But I mean, every game we, oh yeah, or Mechanozoa, a double Mechanozoa is I really want to see that. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching today, everybody. If you like what I do, please consider liking, following, subscribing. I stream like 2-3 times a week, generally 3, depending on, you know, how Saturdays are going. And yeah, I open cards. I talk a lot about the cards that I'm drafting, and yeah, it's a fun channel. A lot of shorts and stuff on YouTube. All right, I'll be right back. All right, and we are back. Yeah, so let's try to get like a little bit more gaming in, and then I want to open some packs. I've got a few like classic packs of cards that I definitely want to open. I've got some big surprises. Like, we're getting close to having 50 follows, and when I hit like 50 follows, 50 subscribers, whatever, I think I'm going to open something pretty big. I've got like a collector's pack of a bit of a more classic set that I want to open up on stream, because I've actually never opened a collector's pack before. Like, again, I used to play Magic back in the 90s a lot more, and there was nothing like that back then. There was just packs of cards. The best you could get was like a starter deck, and those were often terrible because they weren't actually a constructed deck. It was just more random cards, but a lot of it was basic lands. Okay, let's try playing another one. See how this deck does. This deck is definitely performing better than I thought it would, but we have also had a few games where the opponent got stuck on land, which just seems to be the edge of Eternity's experience, to be quite honest. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. Okay, opponent's first, but we've got a good hand here. Nice little curve out. Yeah, I mean, if he plays a 1-drop, we've got a Cryo Shatter for it. Sunstar Chaplain is a great 2-drop, so nothing there. And I'm pretty sure opponent has a Depressurize, but I mean, we may as well bait it out here. Oh, unless he's got an orbital divert disaster. I mean, yeah, that's also very possible. But again, I'd, you know, rather have that out of his hand. Okay, Cloud Sculpt Technician is not really something I want to put a Cryo Shatter on. So I guess we can just hold up. Yeah, I mean, again, I really no interest in putting a Cryo Shatter on a Cloud Sculpt Technician. It's only 1 damage. Consult, nice. So opponent's kind of taking a bit of a turn off here to draw a card for the blade. It gets him a couple of damage, which is alright. Here, I think we play Self-Craft. I mean, opponent's probably going to get in for a bunch. But, I mean, we can potentially then play Hard Light Containment and kind of soak up both of his things, which I feel like, or a Banishing Light or something like that, like, because we can warp in Starfield Vocalist next turn. I think this is probably the play. Now again, opponent might have a Depressurize, and in that case, so be it. But I feel like Consult the Star Charts on turn 3 is not what I would call a good play. Yeah. And he's going to get that Hilda Blade attached, but that's alright. Okay. Here I think now actually maybe we just play the Banishing Light on the 2 of those things, because he's a lot less likely to have a way to deal with that. So I feel like if we just do this. Actually, you know what? I mean, isn't Cryo Shatter just a way better solution that allows us to continue to play to the board here? That's probably much, much, much better. Yeah, I feel like this is probably our best play. And yeah, I mean, this way we're continuing to play to the board. We've got a lot of removal coming out. Yeah, Alfariel. I think that's okay. Next turn we can potentially get in for 6. I mean, here I'm just going to hardcast. Yeah, I guess we just do this. And then attack for 6. I think that's fine. Now, is he going to have a sweeper? Because that would be backbreaking. Literally backbreaking. Okay, he's got a way to get Alfariel back. I mean, that's not, not overly surprising. To waste an Archenemy's Charm, though, on that, I feel like that's fantastic. I mean, he is drawing into a lot of cards, but we're about to, I think we're about to really pop off here with this Banishing Light. Okay. Yeah. Station Monitor is an unbelievably fantastic pickup here. That's... what a draw. What a draw. Get in for 6, which is nice. Now, again, I mean, opponent's got a Mechanozoa that he can play out, so that's, you know, good for him. But we can pick away. Circuit Feeder. Nice. There goes the Station Monitor. That's a good play. So, yeah, we're in a bit of trouble here now. Okay. 7-5. That is just crazy. Here, I think I'm just going to play this out to keep up the pressure, and we will double up on the triggers. And that way we can, he's going to trade the Circuit Feeder for our Vocalist, of course. But we're going to get in for 6, which will be all right. Yep. He can play the Mechanozoa, tap down our Mechan. We will get in for 1. Beckoner. Okay. That's odd. Not what I was expecting, for sure. Okay, okay. This is looking good. Yep. We've got our own Mechanozoa now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Tat will cast it with Warp. Looks like opponent's got nothing. So we'll just get in for a billion. Game. All right. Man, we got some very lucky draws there. What do you think about that, chat? That's incredibly lucky. We were outmatched there for sure, but that Starfield Vocalist is crazy. I love it. All right, so what do we got left here? Like 20 minutes or so. 20 minutes left in the stream. So I make it a habit generally to open some packs. I love cracking packs. I'm addicted to cardboard. As much as I love Arena, don't get me wrong, I also love cracking packs. And again, I mean, this is like, it's a very chill Magic channel. I try to be incredibly chill. Like, I'm not, again, I wouldn't say I'm like top drafter. I'm not like Paul Cheon level. Like, that dude is an inspiration to me. I love watching his streams. Fantastic guy that also seems like he would just be a really nice guy in person, which is, you know, great. I've definitely been to a lot of LGSs where there have been, you know, Magic players that have not been particularly chill, let's say. And that's never my favorite experience. So it's always nice when you run into people who seem like they could be like pretty cool in real life too. And again, I'm not trying to be #1 on Mythic. I'm just trying to have some fun, get in some drafts, and maybe like, because I'm not going to lie, I'm a pretty obsessive strategist. So I do love like reading all the tutorials about how, like what cards stack up against what, figuring out like good combos of things, trying to put together decks that make a lot of sense, have a lot of synergy, and just trying to rank up through draft. Like today has been a fantastic day. Like, what do we got? 7 pips today so far. And even if we lose the next 2 games, we've moved up 5 pips and probably even more than that. So that's great. Yeah, I mean, realistically, like, I like this to be a bit of a variety channel where we talk about the history of Magic. Because again, I've been into this, like, I started in '94 It was near the middle to the end of Revised. Like, I had to go back and actually look at a timeline the other day because I was in high school when Revised came out. And if any of you are like near my age, you probably have the same feeling that I did, where like Revised felt like it lasted an eternity. And realistically, I think I was only playing Revised for about the last 4 months of it before it cycled out, turned into 4th edition, you know, and Ice Age got released. But like I missed out on Legends, and I think the Dark was just going out of stores by the time I started playing Magic. And Italian Legends was a big thing, so that sold out really quickly because, I mean, yeah, there was some crazy stuff in Legends that everybody wanted, like Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, and even some of the legendary lands. And then, yeah, I mean, there were a few Legends that were just bonkers, like Azizon Tamar and Daikon Blackblade. I mean, Daikon to this day is still, like, you know, a big thing. And I mentioned in a previous stream, like, I had a ton of Richard Kane Ferguson art. I had, like, when I was in Magic in the 90s, I had all of his artwork. And all of, like, the most expensive Legends are drawn by Richard Kane Ferguson. I wish I still had that set. Never mind the fact that, you know, stuff like Azizon Tamar is just, like, a fun card to play. You can do some crazy stuff with that. So, yeah, it feels like Revised had been out forever when I was playing Magic in high school. But now, like, Edge of Eternities feels like it only came out a week ago. And yet, you know, it's been out for a month and a half or something like that. It's been out for quite a while, and it feels like it just came out. And as I was saying at the top of the stream, like the Through the Omen Paths is now on Arena. You can pre-purchase the sets and stuff. I mean, it is unfortunate that it's not Spider-Man. It's the same cards, same effects, pretty much the same everything. There are a few bizarre things, like the summon identifier is going to be different because, like, somebody pointed out, like, for the Infinity Stones, for the Soul Stone, it's like summon Infinity Stone or something like that. But, like, obviously Magic can't use that. So it is going to make, like, keywords a little bit weird. And trying to draft on Arena and on paper is going to be very confusing because you're going to have to remember two completely identical but different sets of cards. So that's going to be strange. We're all going to have to navigate it together. This is a weird one, and I don't know how it's going to pan out. There hasn't been anything like this in Magic before, so we're all going to have to get through this together. I am planning on releasing some videos where I talk about, like, you know, cards to look out for while you're drafting. So this week I did a short, which was like the top 5, like the top 5 win rates in Edge of Eternities. So it was Quantum Riddler being number 1, Ouroboros is number 2. Like, these are like game breaking cards, and they're all mythics. But I mean, there are plenty of mythics that, like, do not draft them. Like Evendo Waking Heaven, don't draft that card. It is a mythic. It's not going to win you any games. Like, its win rate is so low. You're better off drafting commons over Evendo. And a lot of the planets are like that. The white one is really good, especially if you build a deck like this that has enchantments and artifacts that you can copy with it, but you still need a way to station it. So, like, Selesnya is probably, like, the best way to draft it because green has, like, a lot of heavy creatures. But I do plan on releasing a video for Spider-Man / Through the Omen Paths that is more like focusing on what uncommons and commons to really look out for, because those can be difficult. I mean, there is definitely a lot of variance when it comes to the quality of cards in a set. I think Edge of Eternities has probably had the biggest variance ever, where like, if you look at Final Fantasy was an incredibly balanced set, and there were almost no unplayable. I mean, this is a big statement. It's a big statement, but there were very few unplayable cards in Final Fantasy. Edge of Eternities has an infinite number of unplayable cards, and some of them are in Mythic, some of them are in Rare, and there are an absolute ton in Common and Uncommon, to the point where, like, you can have a pack that has 8 cards left in it, and there's nothing to draft. Not even, and I'm not even meaning in your color, I'm meaning, like, nothing. It's just terrible. And we saw a few packs like that. And even, again, we got destroyed by Blade of the Swarm. That's a terrible card that nobody should draft, in my opinion. Like, it's not the worst card in the set, but, like, the guy just had the right card at the right time, but I guarantee you Blade of the Swarm is going to be useless in far more situations where it is than it is useful. And even to put like the 2 extra counters on it, it's just overcosted. Like its stat line is not good for that amount of mana, in my opinion. And then its second ability to get rid of warped creatures is not, I don't feel like that's something that you can play enough of. Like you can't get enough value out of that. Like there's just not enough situations. It's like Focus Fire as a removal spell. Focus Fire is not premium removal. Like sure, it's 1 mana, but it is so limited in what it can do. And like a lot of stuff is like, that's why Grav Kill is so premium, because it's 4 mana. Just get rid of stuff, versus Radiant Strike, where it's like it can only get rid of artifacts or tapped creatures. So it's much more limited. Like, yeah, it gives you 3 life. That's great. And it is a way to get rid of artifacts, which God knows we died to a thrumming hive pool in our last draft, and it would have been nice to have our Radiant Strike in our hand, but you know, so it goes. But yeah, like something like a Radiant Strike is not going to be able to get rid of an Ouroboros until it attacks, and people often don't attack with an Ouroboros until it is out for a couple of turns, especially if you're holding up 4 mana where one of them is white, because that like absolutely represents having a Radiant Strike, and losing an Ouroboros after it's only gone through 1 cycle to a Radiant Strike is not going to feel good at all. Okay, let's figure out what to open. Oh yeah, okay. So when I got into Arena, I got into it because Strixhaven was out, and as much as I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, you know, I like it, whatever, it's great. I'm not like super into it. Strixhaven was an incredible set, and in my opinion, one of the best that Magic had ever created up to that point. The reason being that it had like learn and lessons, and to be able to, in a draft, go into your sideboard and pull out the card that you need, or even in standard to pull out, it's like, okay, what is the situation that I'm facing? I have some cards in my sideboard. Is there a utility card in there that I can use in order to break through this board state or win the game or whatever? That was incredible because, you know, you're not just top decking and hoping to get a card that can help you win. You have to think about it and then utilize what's in your sideboard as a bit of a Swiss Army knife in order to then win the game. Now, those cards were also a little bit overcosted, but due to their insane flexibility, it always felt good. And at the very least, any card that had learn on it that allowed you to go get a lesson was like replacing itself anyway. So that was like very, very strong. And because of that, I will always have an incredible fondness for Strixhaven. And there is another Strixhaven set coming this year, apparently, first off. And then Avatar has learn cards. Like quite a few of the Avatar The Last Airbender cards have been teased, and there are cards in it that have the keyword learn, which is really exciting because I love learn as a mechanic. I think it's probably my favorite mechanic that Magic has ever introduced, because it does reduce some of the variance of Magic in the fact that, like, okay, I got to draw the right card and do the Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the Cards idea kind of thing. I'm going to draw it. I'm drawing that. But no, like, learn gives you an out and gives you the ability to go into your sideboard and grab the card that you need in order to, you know, come up with a strategy to win the game. And that's really exciting. Okay, let's go over to the patented card cam. It's not patented. It's just a webcam. Not to remove too much of the mysticism of my channel, but anyway, here we go. Yeah, it's not even that good of a setup. I need to improve it for sure. But you know, we're still like, we're a little over a month in at this point, which is you know, not bad. It's been a fun month. I wish I had started drafting during Final Fantasy. Like during Strixhaven is when I really wanted to start doing the streaming stuff, but life, you know how it is. Life gets in the way, unfortunately. So the Strixhaven cards had like these cool art cards. The Prismari Art Club. Prismari basically it's blue-red. And then on the back, there's an elemental token, which is cool. I mean, I do like the fact that Strixhaven kind of put the art cards and the tokens together. I'm not I wouldn't call myself a huge fan of art cards. I don't know. There is a lot of debate in the community. I feel like that, you know, some people love, it's a love-hate relationship, right? Like you either love or hate art cards. And I know that, you know, it never feels that great opening them necessarily, but like it's a free card, whatever. Okay. So it has been a long time since I played Strixhaven, and I'm going to have to remember some of these cards because my memory in my old age is, man, these smell weird. Like different ink, probably. It's exciting. It's kind of funny how like you can kind of tell. Like I still remember the smell of like revised cards and opening those packs. It's definitely different from the ones today. I would say probably not quite as high of a quality of printing. But anyway, yeah, the Stonebound Mentor was a really good card. It's a gold card. It's for Boros. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, scry 1. That was an incredible card. A 3/3 stat line for 3. Now, I mean, it's a split color card, so that's a little bit rough to get out. But there were, like, I recall Strixhaven having tons of gold cards, tons of multicolor cards in them. It was really a crazy set for that. And it did have some good fixing. Like, it had multi-lands, which made it easy to fix. And there were a few cards that allowed you to tutor up a land, which was nice as well. And a lot of stuff that created treasure tokens. Again, especially in Prismari, there were quite a few red cards that allowed you to create treasure tokens. There was a couple of blue ones as well, I believe. And some high-end stuff that you could cycle to get treasure tokens. So fixing never really seemed to be a problem, even with all like the multicolored cards. And I mean, like Strixhaven did incentivize you to play 2 colors because the schools, each of the schools in Strixhaven was 2 colors. I cannot remember what they were all called right now, but I mean, they were like, you know, it's like Orzhov, but with a different name, something Quill or something like that. I forget. It's been a while, like I said. All right. So Stonebound Mentor, that was a fantastic card. Relic Sloth, I like this card as well. Again, another like, you know, Boros card. The fact that it had Vengeance or Vigilance and Menace. Wow, Vengeance. That would be a cool keyword. I'll take one of those. The fact that it had Vigilance and Menace made it pretty solid. Again, not something you want to first pick necessarily, but you know, a decent card. I love this card, but I'm a bit of a Golgari fan in general. I played a lot of Golgari in Strixhaven. Infused with Vitality, I found to be a really nice combat trick. Until end of turn, target creature gains Death Touch, and when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield, tapped under its owner's control, and you gain 2 life. So it's like a bit of a Perigee Beckoner that you could use as an instant. Like Perigee Beckoner, I feel like would be way better in Edge of Eternities if it had Flash on it. That card would be mental. So yeah. That was great. And there was a lot of like common fixing as well. Prismari Campus enters the battlefield tapped. Add blue or red, and then you can scry 1 for 4. So this was great in early game for fixing. And then late game, it gave you somewhere to dump your mana in order to smooth out your draws. Again, Strixhaven was just a really solid set, in my opinion. It doesn't have like, I mean, Edge of Eternities is missing so much mana fixing and so many ways to like really dump your mana that you end up in so many top deck situations by the end of the game. I mean, that's why like Biomechan Engineer in Edge of Eternities is such a strong card, because you get to late game and you can start just dumping your mana into that. And it just takes over the game so ridiculously. What does it do? It draws 2 cards, and yeah, it's nuts. Now this, I really like this card, Pilgrim of Ages. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for basic Plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, and then for 6 mana, you can return it from your graveyard to the hand. There's a lot of value there. Now, 2/1 for 3 is not particularly great, but the fact that it does get, like, it tutors up a Plains, that's great. Smooths out your deck, thins out your deck a little bit. And again, late game sync, like, it's really always good to have late game mana sinks, especially once you start top decking and you have nothing to do with your mana. That becomes a real win. Here's the learn card, and this was quite a good one. Pop quiz. There's a lot of pink in that, so space is flying behind her head. Draw card. So it's just like a little cantrip, and you can learn from it. So it replaces itself and you go get a lesson card out of your sideboard. So for 3 mana, you're basically getting 2 cards. So it's a stock up that, you know, has maybe a little bit more. It's like you get a little bit more card choice on it. That was great. And again, everything Harry Potter, like even the owls were called Strix. So Strixhaven was like Owl Haven. Some people say, and I have not looked into this, this is unfounded, but some people say they were discussing doing a Harry Potter Universes Beyond. And then some political stuff happened that I'm not going to get into that made Wizards of the Coast back away. I don't know if that's correct. Don't quote me on that, but that may be correct. I really don't know. I like this card too. Twin Squirrel Shaman, a double striker, 3 mana, 1/2. Not, you know, the best card in the world, but it was great with some combat tricks. You know, these double strikers are quite good. And I seem to recall there was some sort of card where shamans were really benefited. There were a lot of shamans in Strixhaven, especially in Boros. There was a ton of shamans, so that was quite fun. Hey, here's a terrible card. Spine Carrick. It's a 2/4 for 3 mana that does nothing. So to kind of like to talk about power creep a little bit, a Roboroid is 1 green pip more than this. Than this. Yeah. A Roboroid's 1 green pip more than this thing. And a Roboroid's what? 1/4? I think 1/4 that has the most insane ability we've ever seen on it. And it's 1 more mana than this 2/4 that has a quote from somebody on it. Witherbloom. Witherbloom was what Golgari was called. Yeah. Like, okay, I mean, this is a common. A Roboroid's a mythic. I get it. Like, you know, it's not going to be as powerful, but like those are not even remotely comparable. Absolutely not. Because, you know, a Roboroid comes in as 1/4, and the second you move to your combat phase, it becomes a 2/4. So that's, or a 2/5. It's not even comparable, and it pumps all your other creatures. So, like, if this had a plus, like if this was 1 power, 1 toughness higher, or one toughness higher and 1 more casting cost, you're at a Roboroid stat line basically. But this does nothing. Anyway, don't get me started. The game has changed a lot. I liked this card. It was, I mean, I liked it. Human Warlock, when it dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. It's all right. You know, it's a 2/3 for 3. At the time, that was quite good. Here's a card that was just fantastic. And this is a lesson. So you can tell by like the icon up top. And also, I mean, obviously by the, you know, the description line here, sorcery lesson. So lessons, if you drafted lessons, you just put them in your sideboard. And if you got a learn card, you could pull these cards out of your sideboard, which it was incredible. And the fact that, you know, this comes in, you can play it in green, you can play it in blue, you can play it in Simic, or, you know, like literally any deck that plays green or blue, you could play this card because it's got the split mana symbols on it. So it can be 2 green and X, or 2 blue and X, or 1 green, 1 blue and X, whatever you want. Incredible card. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, put X +1/+1 counters on it. So early game, this was good. Late game, this was good. This was just all around good. And there were a couple of cards that then interacted with these fractals to make them bigger or whatever. It was just great in general. Quandrix was green and blue. So Simic in Strixhaven, it was called Quandrix. That was the school. I like this card too. It was silly, but this had some great interactions. So this was black and green, and then either another black or green, and 1. A 7/6, beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice creature. When you sacrifice Demogoth Woe Eater, each opponent discards a card, you draw a card, and you gain 2 life. So there was a card in Strixhaven that this interacted really well with, which was sacrifice a creature and create X pest tokens, where X is the power of that creature. So you could play this out, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you could potentially play that card, or you could play it, you know, during that. And like, so because you've sacrificed it, You can also, it can sacrifice itself, which was also crazy, and cause the opponent to discard a card, and you draw a card and you gain 2 life. So that was nuts. It was something that I mean, you definitely need to draft around this in order to really like get the value out of it. But you know, there you go. This card I never saw very often. Explosive Welcome deals 5 damage to any target and 3 damage to any other target, and add 3 red mana. This got drafted a lot, and especially when people were doing like these these Izzet decks. So the bonus sheet actually had Mizzix's Mastery in it, and I once watched a drafter draft nothing but instants and sorceries with, I think he had 2 Mizzix's Masteries that he drafted, which seems crazy, but it might have only been 1. But yeah, he went 7-0 with that deck because there was so much good burn in Strixhaven, and this was one of them. Like, so much of it was high casting cost, but there were all sorts of ways to ramp and all sorts of ways to just like get kickback mana from things, which was, you know, incredible. This card, oh, actually, I've got one of those cards coming up in the Mythic slot, which was, you know, arguably one of the better Mythics in the set. The dragons in Strixhaven were also really strong. If you've never seen the dragons in Strixhaven, go look them up. There are some of them that are just incredible. And some of even the signpost uncommons were incredible. Yeah, it was just a good set. And you had like dual-faced cards. So the teachers were dual-faced cards where, like, you know, one professor was on one side and was black, and then the other one was on the other side and was white. It's a bit like an original Star Trek reference there. I'm white on the left side or whatever. Terrible episode. So return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand and learn. Divide by 0. Amazing card. This was so good. It was a bounce that allowed you to bounce spells. Target spells. So target spell or permanent to its owner's hand and then learn in order to draw a card. Just bonkerinis. Magnum Opus. Amazing card. So this is what I was talking about through the whole thing, that, you know, you could discard cards in order to get, you know, treasure tokens, stuff like that. The fixing in this set was crazy. And Magma Opus was played in standard as well in a ton of control decks, because if you get this early on, you can discard it for 2 mana and create a treasure token. Then it's in your graveyard. You can pull it back from the graveyard with a ton of different effects. In draft, I mean, 4 damage divided as you choose amongst any number of targets. Tap 2 target permanents, so they could be lands, they could be anything. Control decks used to just use this to tap lands and just tap you out of whatever they wanted. This was such a good controlling spell. It was just crazy. And then create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token and draw 2 cards. So it's literally the do everything that you could have ever dreamed of card. Now, I mean, it is 8 mana. That's hefty. But like, Izzet in Strixhaven had a ton of ways to ramp through treasures. Like, you could actually get up to 8 mana consistently in Izzet in Strixhaven. Just fantastic. Or Prismari, let's say. The Sorting Hat put you in Prismari. And then the bonus sheet has this little scroll icon on it rather than the Strix. It was all like a lot of bonus sheets. It was all cards through history. Strategic planning. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, the rest in your graveyard. So it's a brainstorm that doesn't suck as much, even though brainstorm's only 1 mana. But you know, I'd still probably much rather have this, unless you have like a ton of ways to shuffle your deck with evolving wilds or something like that. This is just obviously a much stronger card. So we are pretty much out of time for the stream. I really thank everybody for joining today. It's been a blast. There's a ton of people in the chat, which is really exciting. And again, if you like what I do, please consider liking, subscribing, following. I draft 3 times a week, or at the very least, I try to go live 3 times a week. I will, you know, broadcast, and we just try to do some chill analysis of cards in a way that, like, I like to really break stuff down so that depending on if you're new to the game or if you've been around a long time, there is a lot to digest in Magic, and it's constantly evolving and changing, and that makes it hard to follow a lot of it. So, you know, I like to really get down to the nitty gritty and make it so that the game is just just easier to digest into chunks. Again, this was our deck. Some fantastic stuff. We did rare draft a couple of times. This horrible Eternity Elevator we drafted. And then Space Time Anomaly, which is fun, but not a consistently good card, I would say. So we didn't play any of these, but there was nothing else in the packs to draft. Space Time Anomaly wheeled, and I seem to recall this Eternity Elevator wheeled as well. This thing can often be the last card in a pack. It's just not playable. I don't even know that it's playable in any format necessarily. In draft, in order to make this work, you'd have to have like loading zones and be in some sort of Simic big creatures ramping deck. And then even then, what are you going to spend that mana on? There's no fireball in this format. I don't think there's anything that, like, let's say you get 20 counters on this. What are you going to spend 20 mana on in a turn? I don't know. So there you go. I feel like it just dirtles. I mean, to get it out, like if this was 1 mana or 2 mana, and the fact that you could then tap it for 3 mana, even at 4 mana, I feel like it would be a little bit more valuable. But to take turn 5 off to play this thing, to then just get like 3 colorless mana, it just doesn't feel good. I don't foresee that. And then in our deck, I mean, our best rare is probably Station Monitor, which is not a rare at all. It's an uncommon. But my God, like, this thing has to be dealt with when it comes out. I've lost games to this just spitting out token after token. The same as Pinnacle Emissary, where like the amount of value you can get off of this is incredible. I like, as soon as I saw this, I had to grab it, even though it was pack 3, and we already had stuff like Starfield Vocalist and Memnon. But in my mind, neither of those are as strong as the Station Monitor. The Station Monitor is just a consistently good signpost uncommon. And yeah, like I love Mechanozoa. We also got a Beyond the Quiet, which won us at least 1 game. I think it won us 2 games, didn't it? Or won us 1 and came close to winning a second one, I think. I mean, Beyond the Quiet is always just a nice reversal. Even if you can get a 2-for-1 off of Beyond the Quiet, you're often laughing. And it is not uncommon to get like a 3 or 4-for-1. In a paper game, I got like a 6-for-1 off of this, and my opponent just gave me the most disgusted look. He was, you know, he's a really nice guy who's joking, but he's like so nonplussed, let's say. He was not impressed at all by that, especially because he played his whole hand out. And that was during the pre-release, and nobody was really expecting sweepers to be that big a deal. But yeah, I do have a couple of these in paper because I've, you know, it tends to just be something I draft when I see it, because it can get you out of some sticky situations, more so than like the 0-point ballad, which I find like, you know, by the time I can throw a 0-point ballad, I don't have enough life left to be able to really take advantage of it, or to try to get it up to the 6 mana or whatever that's required in order to bring a creature back. Usually the game has gone so far pear-shaped by the time I can do that, that I don't see the value in it. Whereas this is just easy to play for 5 mana and gets rid of spacecraft, and it exiles everything, which I like that. Especially if it's not exiling my creatures. That's always good. All right, so yeah, this has been Mint Alpha Lotus with another draft. We went 4-1 today. I'm really hoping this deck gets at least 5, maybe even 6 wins, but who knows? Often once I finish off a draft, I just end up like losing the next 2 games off of stream. That's just how it goes sometimes. But you know, once you get up into the last couple of points worth of a draft, you're up against some like really solid decks, because it ends up tending to match you with, you know, other people who've won 5 or 6 games or whatever, and those are often like really, really solid decks. Whereas early on, you know, with 1 win or 2 wins, you can kind of go up against anybody. So anyway, yeah, it's been a blast today, and thanks everybody for watching. It's always good when there's, you know, a ton of people here. As I said, please consider like, subscribe, follow, keep an eye on the channel. I've got some more videos coming out next week that I think are going to be very fun. Until next time, this has been Mint Alpha Lotus, telling you all to keep it mint.